Friends, I am Pankaj Singh from Kendriya Vidyalaya, Bharatpur, Jaipur region, discussing a very important chapter of class 12, that is Python functions. So now moving towards next slide. So basically, what is a function? A function is a group of statements bind together to make a single unit for the purpose of doing a specific task. We may execute it by calling it in the program anywhere. So you can say it is some basic definition of function. Sometimes it is known as subprogram, subroutine, module, etc. So basically what advantages are given by the function? So the main some points are as follows: cope up with complexity. So whatever task you are doing to make a function and we are having a lot of complexity, for example sqrt function. So calculating sqrt is a very complicated task. So how that square root is calculated, we are not bothering about the complexity of that function, but we are just using that function. Next benefit is hiding detail, so that implement the feature of abstraction, that is implementation of abstraction by making those functions. Next benefit is fewer line of codes, so that means there is lesser scope for bugs. So basically it also working on the principle of divide and conquer. Increase program readability. You are making a very long program, so there is any problem of indentation, or suppose you forget some line to add. So but when you make function, so your program is divided into some parts, so easily you can concentrate on those part and find your bug properly, and you can also read your program properly. And reusability of the code, once write and use many times as you want. So that is also benefit of function provided to you. So now in Python, how a person can define a function? So basically it is the general syntax. Def is one particular keyword to define function. Then we write name of the function, that is depends on you, but that should not be a predefined function, and function name does not contain any spaces. If you want to add, like you require some space in between, so instead of a space you may use underscore. Then the sign of function, that is simple brackets, and then inside we may pass some parameter list, that is also optional. Then coming to the body of the function, so when we put one colon and press the enter sign, so you have to give some indentation in Python. Now in three double quotes we will write documentation string, that is the documentation of the function. If you want to say something about function, what that function is actually doing, so you may write documentation here. Then body of the function, this is the part where actually we are doing some task. And then return value, that return value is also one keyword, so you may return some value and then that value may be used in the place where we are calling that function. So we will discuss one by one. Also one remember one point here, Python returns none, which is also a built-in immutable data type. So none is also one keyword in programming, and built-in immutable data type that you must have also discussed in class 11, mutable and immutable data types. So now coming to one example, defining and calling the function. So now I am writing dev, this is the keyword, f, I am assuming that is the name of the function, and a comma b, these are two values which I am going to pass, and then one colon sign. When I am writing the coding of function, so we have to give one indentation. So I am writing c equal a plus b and return c. So it is one basic function, and now to call that function, we will come to console and we will write say f10 comma 20, so that function will be called. Now in this small piece of code, def is one keyword, f is the name of the function which we are giving, a and b are the parameter of the function, and return is a keyword. So now without wasting much time in this definition, I am taking you to the practical aspect. So we start Python idle. So now you come to your desktop and you may find Python idle here. So now start your Python idle application. So now you are very familiar with Python idle application. This is your console. So we can make program in two ways. Either we can make the program on console, and that is interactive mode, and we can also make the program in script mode. So I am showing here how we can make a function. So now I am writing say def, and name of the function I want to give my function, and then it is the colon sign. When I click the enter sign, so now you can see one indentation is shifted towards right hand side. And now here I am going to write one comment statement. So I am writing this is my first function and close in three brackets. And now I am writing one simple print statement, say hello. Now this is the declaration and coding of your first function in Python. The name of function is my func, and now we have to call this function. So I will write my func. So this way we can call the function. So you can see here I am having the output as hello. There is very much interesting thing about this documentation string. If you want to see actually what is documentation string, so we can write my func dot two times underscore, it is known as dunder, right, doc, and then two times underscore, and you can see now this is the documentation of your function which you have written there in docstring. This is my first function. So this way I can create function on console. Now to demonstrate you, now I am making one script. So go to file, click on new file. So this way you will create your script mode. And now I want to code one or two function here, and then we will discuss. So now the first line which I am writing, that is our comment. So I have written demo of making function. So now I am making one function, say define f1, and now what I am writing here, I am writing say print hello. So this is my first function. Coming to another function, I am writing define f2. So now this is my second function, and now I am writing print by in another function. So now you see we have written the function, and now to save and compile this program, I go to file and save this program. So now I am giving this name as say demonstration, and now I am running this program by using key is F5. So now you can see nothing is coming here. Why? So now again come to coding. We have declared two functions, function 1 and function 2, but we have not called the function. So now we are starting, you can say it is calling of the function. So I am writing here f1 function and f2 function. Again I am running the program. So you see the output is came as hello and bye. Hello is the output of function when we call the function 1. So control is going towards function 1, hello is printed there. After it nothing, so control will come back to the calling place. Then when I called F2, so control again went to F2 and then by message came here. We can also do one more thing, like these function 1 and function 2 can individually also call themselves. So now in function 2, suppose I am writing inside, I am writing function 1, and now I am running this program again. So now see what will happen. So the answer came hello hello bye. The reason is, first of all, I called f1 function, so control is there with f1, so it has printed hello. Now again when we called f2 function, so in f2 function we are calling f1 function, so control will go to f1 function, hello will be printed, and then after that that by message will be printed. So in output you can see hello is coming 1 due to function 1 call and hello by is coming due to function 2 call. So this is basically the basics of function, how we can make a function and how we can call them. So moving towards next slide. Now categorization of function means function can be categorized into three types. Number one, built-in function, modules and user defined. So built-in functions are those predefined functions in Python which need to call them to use. We don't have to import any other module for using them. Python has given us many built-in functions that makes our program easy, fast and efficient. These are some examples like int, str, float. So again we are coming to console and we will discuss one by one. So now one more shortcut key for restarting your application is Control F6. So now you may restart your shell. So the first function is say input function. Like suppose you are writing a equal 10 and when you print the value of a, so the answer is coming as 10, but sometime we need to input some value from user, so we can also take in another variable, say x equal input, and now I am giving one message, enter a number. So now see the console, it is asking one number, I have entered 25. So now the value 25 will be given to variable x. So if you print the value of x, so it is going to print you 25. Now the main important thing is here, you see x is, the value of x is coming in single quotation. So that's a sign of string. So whatever value you have accepted from user, basically in Python, that is accepted as a string value. We cannot implement some mathematical operation on those number. So I am just explaining you. Suppose in y I am writing one more input statement, say enter another number, and now I have taken that value in y variable. Now you can see here this line we are getting some error just because instead of writing input, by mistake I have written input. So always remember these function name are very important in Python, and Python is also case sensitive language. The meaning of case sensitive, lowercase letters and uppercase letters are treated differently. So if you make any mistake, so it is going to give you mistake. So again I am accepting another number. Suppose say I entered 15. Okay. So in X we enter 25. In Y the value 25 is stored. Now suppose we want to find the sum of these numbers. So I am writing Z equal X plus Y. But if you print the value of Z, so now see what happened. Z is coming 2515 instead of adding these number 25 and 15, we are supposing that we are going to get answer as 40, but that is not coming. It is because x and y are presently in string form, so we need to convert that number into integer form. So the next built-in function is int function. So what I will do, say a equal int, and then I am writing x. So now if you see the value of a, so now a has become 25. Same way b equal integer and say y. So you can see the b is coming as 15. Now if you do z equal a plus b, and now you print the value of z, so you will get the answer as 40. So this was your desired output. So you can see the value which we are inputting from user, that is string value. To convert that number into integer, we require int function. So that is also one built-in function. Next function is float function. Suppose I have written a variable x equal 5.67. So now if you print the value of x, so it is coming 5.6. Okay, so or suppose you have written x equals say 12.34 in string value. So what will happen? X is coming as string value. Now we need to convert to float value. So we will write f equal y equal float x. So now that is number converted back to float. Now the next function is eval function. In eval function we may give some value like say 15 plus 25. So now this function will evaluate the expression and will give you the correct answer. Now coming to the next function, suppose we are writing x equal some value, say Bharatpur. So now this is one example of string. Now I want to know how many characters are there in that string. So we may give a command, say length of s. Len function, we have to pass the value of any string value. So now you can see the data is of 9 length. Another example, minimum and maximum functions. So using min function, you give some number to the list. So you can see out of these number, 12 number is minimum. So the minimum function has given you the minimum value. Next function is maximum function. So you pass some value and now see what maximum value is coming. So 7347 value came as maximum value. Another function is round function. In round function, we give some value and then we supply two number of digits to round off the value. Suppose I have taken 123.456 and I am rounding off to value 0. The meaning of 0 is we want to round off after decimal place. I don't want any number after decimal place, so the answer came 123. The rule of round function is that should be equal to or greater than half of the value. If instead of writing 123, if it could be 123.556, so it will give you answer as 124. So this is your round function. So now you can see here, I started with the Python compiler and I am not using any other thing and all the functions are running. So that's why they are known as built-in function. Another built-in function I want to share with you is dir. So now in class 11 you must have imported some modules like math. So this way math, the functionality of math module will come to your program. And now I want to check what is there in math, what functions are there, what variables are there. So I may give a command dir. So when you give the command dir, so it is going to give you all the value here. You can see here e variable is given there, and Many more functions are there, floor, log, log10, pi is there. So you may use as per your requirement. Suppose I am writing math dot pi. So it will give you the value of pi, that is 3.14159. Okay, and suppose I want to find some square root of a number, so I am writing math dot sqrt. Suppose I pass value as 2, so you can see math.sqrt function gave you 2.0, this which is the square root of 4. So this way you can see the variables and function of any module. There is also one important command, that is help. So write help, and suppose we want to see what help is there in sqrt function, so it will print you the meaning of sqrt. Okay, so it return the square root of x. But you can see why these messages are coming, because in the developer who has developed the functionality of sqrt function in docstring, he must have written the documentation of the sqrt function. That's why we are seeing this help here. So the concept of built-in function will be cleared with you all. So these are some predefined functions. So we need to only call them. We need not to import any module for them. Now moving towards next second types of function, they are module. Basically module in Python is a file which contain the definition of variables and functions. Like we may divide the function into modules, and each module contain some variable and function. A module may be used in other program. The way in which we can import module in our program, like import module name, and second method is from module name import function name. Some well-known modules are maths module, random module, matplotlib module, numpy and pandas. So you must have seen some module in class 11, or in seeing some modules in class 12. So I will explain one or two here. As I told you, the module can be implemented in two ways. Like I am writing import math, so you can see all the functionality of math will be included in your program. And now suppose we want to use sqrt function, so I will write math dot sqrt. I have given 5, so the value of square root of 5 is displayed on the screen. Second method, we can also call particular function from any module. So I am writing from math import, from math import say log 10. So what will happen? In second statement, only functionality of log10 will be included in your program. So I will write log 10, and now I want to calculate the value of 2. So it will give you 0.3010 that you must be using in mathematics. So now you can see we can calculate the value of log here. Again coming back to first method, import math, it may also be written as import math as m. The benefit of writing m is the m is alias here for math. Previously we written math.sqrt5, so now we may write math.sqrt say 9, so square root will be given to you. We need not to write math again and again. So now another important library or module in Python is random, and it will give you lots of command to deal with. So I am sharing some of them. So I am writing import random as r. So I included the functionality of random function in our program. And now the first function of random function is r dot random. So you write here r dot random function, r dot random function. So now see what random function given you. it has given you 0.8432, whatever value is coming. So it is giving you one random value. So now if you want to see actually what random function gives you, so you write help and then write r dot random. So now you can also see the documentation of random function. So it is giving you random function will give you the value in the interval 0 to 1. 0 is included and 1 is excluded. So random function may be used as per your requirement. Suppose we want to generate 10 random number. So what I will do for I in range say 10. So there is range function that you must have discussed. So it is going to generate 10 numbers, and now I am writing print r dot random function. So now you can see this function has given you 10 random numbers which are from 0 to 1. So in your program you may use as per your requirement. Now suppose we want some random number between some value, like say I want random number from 10 to 20. So now then what I will do, so there is one function r dot rand int and then pass that value 10 comma 20. So you will see I got one random number. Again we want to find say 20 number between 10 to 20. So I will run a loop for I in range 10 comma for I in range 20. That means I am going to print 20 numbers, and now I am printing r dot randint 10 comma 20. So now you can see, now we that program has printed you 20 random numbers. Now suppose we want floating numbers between any range. For that we will use uniform function. So let's see what uniform function will give you. R dot uniform function, r dot uniform function say 4 comma 20. So it will give you any floating number between 4 and 20. Suppose we want to generate 10 numbers, so again we will write for I in range 10, and now I am calling this function for 10 times. Say r dot uniform say 4 comma 20. So it has printed you 10 uniform number and which are floating in nature. Another function is in random library, it is very important function, that is choice function. Now how that will be used, say suppose I am having one list in which I am having some numbers in words 1 2 3 4 5. Suppose I have written a list in which I am having say 5 different numbers, and now I want to get any of the value. So I will write r dot choice and then we will pass the list. So you can see the 5 number came to you. In second example again I am getting 5. So that is random. So you may get any of the value using choice function. Next function is shuffle. So you see this list is given to you, and now I am writing r dot shuffle L. So I pass the list and now the data of list will be shuffled. Pass the value L and now print the list. So you will get the list is being shuffled to you. Okay. And one more library I want to discuss with you, that is matplotlib. So import matplotlib dot py plot. say as PLT. Student, basically this matplot library is used for making very beautiful chart like line chart, bar chart, pie chart. So see one example here, you will enjoy the charts here. Like suppose I want to print a chart of say number and its square. So basically we require two data. One is for storing the number and second is for storing its square. So I have taken one list. Say list 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is just for one example. And now I want list 2 which is containing the square of the number. So 1 square 1, 2 square 4, 3 square 9, 4 square 16, 5 square 25. So just to explain you, I am writing L1 and L2 here. You can also use list function. You can also use list comprehension as you want. And now I am making a plot. PLT dot plot function. I am passing two value L1 and L2. So now you see a chart is created for you all. And now using show function, we can see the chart. So you see, so nice chart is given to you. Okay. And second example, again suppose we have written list 1 and list 2. Now instead of writing plot chart, suppose I want to make bar chart. So use command bar and then you show the chart. So these are some important mathematics library or module which is given to you. So this way you can make your very beautiful charts in Python. So student, now this is moving towards continuation of part 1. So in part 2 video we will discuss some more excitement features of Python. Thank you.